Hello, hello. I hope everybody is doing fantastic. And I am so excited this day is finally here. Now you know what I have been doing. So, this is welcome to the book launch. And I've got the book right here that we're going to talk about. So, Spiritual Nurturing for Intuitive Children. And yes, it's been, as you can tell, it's been since, oh my gosh, since August, since I have been Facebook Live. So, this is really exciting to be here once again. So let me know if you are watching, say hello. And if you are watching it recorded, it's okay. I would love to hear from you. I hope everybody is doing wonderful. So, again, I have been doing this wonderful project, and I feel like, oh my gosh, Spirit has been leading me to do this book. I have always worked with children for many, many years, and I just knew it was the perfect time to write the book. And hey, I'm going to say hello to people coming on. And I also used to, whenever I went live, would have my little wine glass, cheers to Spirit. So we will be doing that as well, thanking Spirit for everything that they have done for us and everything that's going to happen. Hey, Tina, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, I love it. I love the little clapping. Yes, I'm excited as well. Yeah, when you first start a project, you don't know what it's going to turn out. And I didn't do it by myself. I had so many people helping me, and it's very interesting. I knew that it was meant to be when people kept coming, and I was making great connections. And it turned out completely different than I even anticipated. And that's, with anything, right? And so I was very pleasantly surprised. But I wanted to go ahead and show you. Hold on just a second. Got two screens here. Who I really want to thank. And I mean, there are so many more people, and everybody that went on Facebook today and said congratulations to the book. I really appreciate the support there as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So every book needs an editor. I can always get the ideas down. I have great ideas, story, but to get the words flowing like poetry, oh my gosh, you need an editor. Michael Ireland was superb. And it's almost like I felt like I was in English class again. And you would do it, we would go back and forth, and she would correct it, and she'd say, okay, what do you think? And I'd get the paper. And it's like my mom with the red pen. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it didn't sound very good. So, oh my gosh, Michael Ireland just was brilliant. So I really appreciate her. Then I had Gazelle Shardlow, who she is, I mean, she's amazing in herself. She has really published a lot and really helped kids with yoga stories, because when you teach yoga to children, it's completely different than teaching it to adults. And she really has made it concrete. I found her website, and she allowed me to use a couple of her pictures, a lot of her exercises in the book. So I really appreciate that. Then, of course, you got need your marketing people trying to get your name out there and the book out there, and plus publishing. So they helped me publish. And I was just at awe. But it's Prestine Lee LLC. And again, just tremendous brain power. And I cannot thank them enough. And then at the end of the book, I did add some stories of psychic mediums who actually had childhood stories of not being supported. And I asked them, can I please use your story in the book? I think it'd be awesome, and people can look at that and mean something to it, because it really personalizes it, right? And so Tamara and Lisa, I appreciate you allowing me to use your stories. Now there are more stories, but these are the ones that actually said, yes, please use my story. Okay. The others, I read their book and I referenced to the book. But again, I want to thank them very, very much. All right, so I'm still not done thanking everybody, and then we'll go on, and I'll do what people usually do whenever you're in a bookstore and you're surrounded with people, not COVID. And so I will show you a couple of sections in the book as well. But I wanted to also, I'm going to make myself little so you can see this. There's so many little things. Okay. Oh my goodness, I have two Tinas on here. That is really funny. Hey Tina, how are you? Good to see you. Hey. Okay, so again, with endorsements of a book, it all not only really, it's good for the book to sell, but it's really for me to know, well, I tried to find so many people that came from different places, different jobs, and different critiques so that I could see how they thought about the book, right? So I really appreciate all of these people. Some of them are authors, some are not, and again, they are just professionals in different realms. And I felt like, oh my gosh, I need to see how many, people are out there. So endorsements are great because that way I know if it's going to make a difference in certain people's lives or a lot of people's lives. So these are some of the endorsements. I really want to thank the people as well. Okay, again, it wouldn't have been the same without you. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you a little bit in the book so you know what it is. But before we do that, I'm going to say cheers to spirit. I want to thank everybody again for the job and the brain power. It does not take one person to write a book, right? It just comes from everybody together that has one thing and one goal in mind, and to help these children, psychic children, intuitive children, continue in their journey. All right. So I want to say cheers to spirit, and you can raise whatever you're drinking. If you're drinking water, that is perfectly fine. Cheers. And just to tell you the truth, this was the last of my wine in the refrigerator. So okay, so let me kind of show you the front. And I actually all these months only saw the PDF, and so to actually have it concrete and to see what it would look like, it really turned out good. I think the art department did a fabulous job in putting the different colors in it as well. And I love this little girl. I mean, she is just precious. And that really kind of got me knowing I needed to use her. All right, so I'm going to go real quick with the chapter, and then I'm going to show you something at the very end that really ties the book together. And this will kind of tell you, oh, well, this book is for me, or this book, oh, I think it's great, but it may not be for me, okay? Because it is a very specialized book, I guess you could say. But it's more of a guide to help people that are working with these families. It kind of gives them guidance of exercises or things that they can do, and a plan. It's always good to have a plan, especially when you work with children, right? Because things change along the way. And parents can also get this as well, but look at it from a different point of view. All right. So, chapter 1 is intuitive abilities and spirituality. Now, I am a nerd. Yes, I will admit that. And so, I am a nerd, and I did a lot of research on why spirituality is important to children. And I found out not only is it important mentally, but it actually makes your brain healthier. So, there's a physical aspect to it. So, and I did a lot of research like that. And then I found out there's a psychic medium who is actually diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. So, yes, so we have children under the spectrum who find spirituality and maybe become psychic mediums as well. Okay, so the chapter 2 is an intake, how to embrace the whole child. This is where you come in if you're somebody that's working with a family that comes in and gets information from the family and what information is important to get from the family. Okay. And so it kind of gives you some ideas of things that you can set up. Now, if a lot of this does not pertain to you, you can make it your own. If you're going, oh, I don't think that looks good, make it your own. This is just to give you some ideas. Again, it's some guidance, right? All right, so number 3 is developing a family training program. So this is where you're getting your goals. You get all that information that you got from the family, and you're making goals. And in the goals section too, you think about, well, how long am I going to see this child? Because every family needs are different. Maybe a month, one time a week, maybe 2 months. It's between you and the family and whatever is going on. It may just be one session, and that is perfectly fine too. Okay, so F in this also, it talks about terminology, okay? And it talks about terminology in the way that pertains to children. So like whenever you're talking about the chakras, how does that pertain to a child? We know how it pertains to adults, but how is it different whenever it pertains to a child? Then we look at focusing on energy. And this is where, how do you teach yoga to children? Breathing techniques, because it's really important to get centered, right? And so this kind of brings it down on how you can do this for the children as well. And it's very concrete. Now, number 5, chapter 5 is feeling in control. And it is so important for these families, for the children. And I know even as adult, as a psychic medium, to feel like you are in control of whatever happens in your environment. So like using crystals. And so the crystals that children choose are different than what an adult may choose. Okay. So I kind of talk about the different crystals and different things that parents can do with a child to make them feel like they're in control. This one is one of my favorite chapters, expanding intuitive abilities through art. All right, because a lot of what we do is very creative. And of course, when you're working with a child, you need to bring out that creativity. Just think about preschool children bringing out those puppets and explaining what is happening to them. Sometimes they'll talk more if they have a toy in their hand. And if something, and they may have forgotten to tell you something, but if you bring out a toy, that might make them feel relaxed, and they're going, oh, I can show you exactly what happened to me, or what does it feel like? Okay, so they're drawing and they're doing different things. The older children, it also talks about how you can do an aura story autograph. If I can say that, I'm so sorry, I'm talking really fast. So, and how to use oracle cards. So, and this it kind of talks about older children, and younger children can actually use stickers. And so it talks about, it depends on where your child is or the child is. Okay, so this is the chapter I wanted to talk about, and this kind of brings everything together. Is chapter 7, different scenarios. And what these different scenarios, they're fictional, they're not real. Okay, so it kind of gives you examples of how you can use this book. So we're going to talk about, real quick, it's not going to take too long, about Jackson. I'm going to give you his profile. And this is the information, if you went in, you got this from the parents. Hey, Kimberly, how are you? Oh, I missed you too. I know it's been a while since I've been on, huh? Okay, so Jackson is 5 years old. He lives with his mom, dad, father, sister, sister is 2. Okay, and I know you can read most of this. This is a lot of information. So this is the profile that you would look at. And information you would see, well, is it affecting his social life? Is he anxious because of what's going on with him? Is he picking up too many feelings from others? Is he too much of an empath and open? What happens? And of course, you can see right here with Jackson, he's anxious, he cries frequently, and tends to be withdrawn. I'm going to hide my picture just for a few minutes so you can read past me, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay, so that is something about Jackson. I'm going to show you a little bit more about Jackson, of things that we can assume, okay? And just to see, this is a little bit more about Jackson. To me, I think case studies are so fascinating because it kind of pulls everything together, right? All right. So then now we're going to make assumptions. Okay, these are the things that you can pretty much, looking at the different clairs and everything, you're pulling everything together. And this really helps you also pull in the program. All right. And I'm just going to show you one other sheet. And it says, these are some of the goals that you may want to develop to help the family support and understand his intuitive gifts. Now, this is so that he's secure in what he's doing. This is to help him with anxiety. You may want to teach him a yoga pose. And then learn how to complete breathing exercises so that when he gets anxious, he knows how to calm himself down. Okay. So this is great for any child with anxiety as well, but especially one that has empath issues. Okay. And a sphere, the Hoberman sphere is that big ball that you can go in and out to practice breathing. And it does talk about it in the book, how to use them. So that is just a little bit how it ties everything together, just so that you know what the book is all about. Okay, because every book is different whenever you're talking about children, and of course I come from education, so I'm looking at it from an education point of view. That I feel like knowledge is so powerful, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I know I've only been here a short time. Let me know if you have any questions, but I do want to thank Spirit again, say cheers to Spirit for giving us those fabulous ideas. And I just hope, and I hope that we're blessed that this will be able to help families with intuitive children so that they can carry on and have some answers in their life, right? So cheers to Spirit. And I cannot leave tonight without giving you an inspirational message, right? So, all right. So, just like this book, hopefully it will help one child at a time. You can also, just by being yourself and showing people how spiritual you are and what an awesome person you are. Okay. So, just as ripples spread out when a single pebble is dropped into water, the actions of individuals can have far reaching effects. So, you can make a big difference in this world just by being who you are and making a difference, right? We need that energy up, so that we can, find our spiritual self and you can make a difference in somebody else's life. Okay. So I'm going to say many blessings to you guys. Thank you so much for popping on. And again, if you're seeing this in the recording, go ahead and say hello. And I'm going to show you a short video because this is the book launch, right? And it talks about the book a little bit. It's kind of like a video about the book. So again, good to see everybody. I mean, oh my gosh, Tina's, Kimberly, awesome. It's good to see you. And I hope that you are doing well, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers to Spirit. I guess I need to hide myself first before I start the video. Bye-bye. What if parents could encourage your child's spiritual growth? Just as a beautiful flower will grow in rich soil, a child's spirituality can grow as well. In her book, Spiritual Nurturing for Intuitive Children, Michelle Henderson offers guidance and tools for healers to use while working with families who have psychic children. These tools include meditation, yoga, and breathing techniques, and also how to use art to strengthen a child's psychic ability. Educating these families on how to embrace and nurture their child's psychic abilities will lead to a celebration of spiritual growth. Our world needs our children to understand what true love and acceptance really is. Visit MichelleHendersonMedium.com and download a free chapter of the book.